I really do like this crowd. People come from even like across the world. I've met a fan from the Middle East and China and Japan and all these places.
第一场其实蛮顺风的，就是 NA 打EU，那我想说应该要赢了，对，然后就输了。
We already got 1v5 by Huni.
Counter-Strike is charging, that's a four-man stun. Bjergsen's already down.
1대1은 좀 판단 실수를 해서 좀 지긴 했는데 그게 좀 충격적이었어요.
He's push up to a tower. Murray gets hit and stunned.
Ignite! Exhaust is down. He's going to try to claw his way to freedom, but he's
I've always played indoors, so playing outdoors is like, you know, there's raindrops on my head.
My hand started getting wet, which is never happened to me before.
Versus LCK, when we started actually something like 4-1 or something, and we were like, what the hell is going on?
Oh, the flash.
Oh, he has flash too. He
Got it. There it is. It's
He just solo killed the MVP of Worlds.
From that point, it went like really badly for us.
You're out of his own base. He's like, wait, don't end it. Don't end it. 1v1. I got all of you. Just 1v1 me.
FLICKR sends his regards.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to day 2 of the 2015 All-Star event. We're coming to you live from the LCS studios in Los Angeles, California, where earlier we got a glimpse of all the action getting underway here in the studio. The fans are absolutely fired up to get into day 2 of All-Star. The CRS region is warming up. They had a good showing on day 1, doing very good versus the LCK, dropping that game. And there, the LPL, they were absolutely on fire for Team Ice in day 1 of the All-Star event. And there, the NA LCS All-Stars convening before the game, as well as the LMS All-Stars. That's something to make up for after yesterday and that game versus the LPL. And there as well, the EU All-Stars, Kasing and Reckless and FLICKR, of course, as well, warming up to get ready here for day 2 of All-Stars. Hello everyone, I'm Evie Schogge supporter, and joining me on the desk for today is Sam, Kobe, Hartman, Kensler, the European LCS Rookie of the Split Origins, Carrie Niels, and our very own Martin the Fishio Lunga, who we appreciate very much as well. I gotta go to you first though, Niels. Very happy to have you here. What's it been like attending an event as a supporter and not playing?
I'm more of a coach, but like some sideline coach, morale support kind of guy, so yeah, it's fine.
Were you the mastermind behind the Jax pick yesterday?
Yeah, of course.
Obviously. Well,
smart coach.
Very smart coach. And that yesterday, of course, day 1 of All-Star started with that Jax, with a very promising start for Team Ice, as you say, in that game of EU versus NA. Was it just a Jax? What else do you think that EU did well in that match to come back, Niels?
We did really good at like making the game look like it was like, you know, an even game.
Yeah.
Like,
Classic EU.
Yeah. Making it look like we had a chance, and then when they don't expect it, Huni strikes from with the four-man Jax stun.
Counter strikes.
Again, it is all the coach here, man. That's strategy. He planned it out, fall behind. Huni, you flank there, you get the four-man stun. It's beautiful.
Well, Kobe, what did you make of it? Because NA started off really strong. All your guys you know so well.
I mean, that was literally that one play.
That
where
was it?
Double lift dies while they have Froggen cornered between 2 turrets, and North America decides to push up mid, and then Huni comes out with a flash four-man counter strike, and then he gets Rage Blade off of that, and I mean, you know the end of that story.
We do.
The end of that story here, that was 100 points for Team Ice on the board. And then yesterday also the LPL, who came out swinging in their game versus LMS, and the pick 10 as well. They had boot camp before, but it showed.
I mean, yeah, very clear they came prepared. And also this kind of event is just perfect for the LPL, because this is where you can really show off your mechanics. Again, you don't need as much strategy or the great communication. If you have good mechanics, you have carries like Uzi and Rookie and so on. I mean, that's enough to get a lead early on and then snowball from there. And they did it perfectly.
I'm sure you enjoyed that game, Niels. Classic camp bottom lane. They got Rengar 2 kills down there, then Kassadin gets 2 kills down there.
The enemy couldn't 2v2, so
yeah.
It's just
sad. Talking about good mechanics in the 1 versus 1 tournament, we saw the mirror matchup, Anivia versus Anivia, Froggen versus FLICKR. I thought it was really exciting. Actually, if you looked at it a little bit closer, Niels, what did you make of it? Your Danish buddy.
FLICKR actually got the egg of Froggen twice, I think, in that series, but he never really had mana enough to kill him after the egg, so it just became this super long, boring Fire. I mean, not
That
boring.
kind of guy?
I mean, not boring, just really intense, you know, until the frog got 100 creeps.
No, you
Yeah,
gotta
I
speak your
mean-
mind, man.
Nivea as a champion is not going to be the most exciting 1v1 because of the passive. So you don't even have enough mana to get all the way through an egg
But he got
after
egged
killing
twice.
someone.
There was a lot of trading going back and forth, you know, denying CS by landing a stun and forcing someone to move. So that was pretty fun to watch.
I don't know,
FLICKR,
the
though.
most exciting move was that flash to get the health pack, I guess.
Oh, the snowball.
Woo!
Snowball in, FLICKR went aggressive, couldn't kill him. Almost.
Very exciting in the 1v1, but with the points, that was 250 points yesterday for Team Ice after winning well 5 vs 5 and the fun mode. Team Fire did get on the board at the end of the day. They got 100 points. That makes it 100 to 250, and there is a chance immediately here for Team Fire to catch up, as it will be the NA LCS versus the CIS All-Stars in our very first game. And then everyone will put on their ADC hats for marksman mode, and we'll also go back to the Howling Abyss for the round of 16 of the 1v1. I do want to preview that marksman game because we have 16 AD carries available. Timo is in there as well, though. Niels, what do you make of that mode? How is that going to plan out?
Since you can only build damage items, I think that the ones that have like strong abilities are gonna do a lot of damage. Champs like Corki are a bit stronger than the IH champs, I think. So these ones that build Trinity Force, Essence River, like Ezreal, Corki, are gonna do a lot of damage. Even champs that can poke, like Varus, can actually do a lot of damage. So
Kindred?
it's not so good on this patch.
I feel like that ultimate.
Quinn has to be one. I mean, when everyone is so squishy, you can
Yeah,
just roam around, and in this mode, I mean, again, you can't really do Baron too well because it's 580 carries and so on. Sieging is very risky because you're so squishy, so like Quinn can just roam around and just kill people.
That would be super exciting. But for now, though, we're going to head ringside where Dash is standing by with NA's fan-favorite bot lane duo.
Thank you very much, Shocks. I am standing by with Double Lift and Afromoo of Team Fire, and Team Fire has started out in a hole here in the tournament, 250 to 100 points so far. So I want to know, was there any talking between the team last night about the deficit, and are you confident that you can make up that deficit by the end of the tournament? Double Lift?
Well, after we lost, we were rolling, and I think it was fine. We're just like, oh, we gotta play. That sucks. So off to like a bad start, but I'm pretty sure we can pick it up. First, right here should be a win, and then hopefully afterwards we can go far in like the 1v1 tournament and all the other modes.
So nobody's freaking out yet, Afromoo?
Oh no, we went over the replay last night. You know.
All right, there we go.
Got some constructive criticism in, especially for medias. You know.
We've just found out that Niels is we just found out that Niels is coaching for Team Ice. Do you guys have your own pocket coach?
I thought you were our coach.
I'm the coach?
Yeah.
Oh, well,
Rainbow
we have
Dash.
some work to do then. All right, we're going to have a team meeting as soon as this interview's over. Next up, though, I do want to talk about a few of the game modes that you'll both be taking part in later today. Afromoo, you were once a marksman in ADC, and Double Lift, you were once a good ADC. So I do want to, I'm kidding. I'm just messing with you, buddy. I'm messing with you. No, I want to know about, given...
This was a fun event.
Well, that was fun for me and everybody else, but it's got to be at somebody's expense, right? I'm just messing with you. I do want to know, though, how confident you guys are going into that game mode, especially given the fact that a few of the people on the team who aren't currently in the ADC role have experience in that role. Afro?
Well, marksman mode is going to be pretty fun. I don't know if we're going to get bans or anything like that, but I'm pretty sure Peter's going to lead the charge in that mode for us on what to pick, right, man?
What is the single most overpowered ADC right now?
Lucian, man.
Lucian?
He's got 2 guns.
All right, he's got 2 guns. There you go. A reason enough for me. I'll concede on that one. Next up, you're both still representing Team Fire in the 1v1 tournament, in which ICE has more individuals still in that tourney. So a lot riding on you guys there to pick up points for the team. Are you confident that one of the 2 of you can come out on top there? Double Lift?
Well, I'm up against Reckless, so probably gonna lose, but Afro, you can handle that.
As team coach, you can't have that little confidence going into the matchup. We're gonna figure this out. You'll play Lucian. He's got 2 guns, which makes him the strongest, and you'll be good, right?
All right, I'm down.
There you go. See? Problem solved. All right, though. All of this, though, is all taking place after your first matchup today, which is against the International Wildcard Region, CIS, who put up a pretty significant fight against LCK in the early portion of the game. We saw solo kills on both FLICKR and Marin. So what were the plans, or what were the talks going into this matchup, and how are you guys ensuring the fact that you're going to walk away with another 100 points here? I'll throw it to you, Afro.
We have a plan?
I don't know. I thought you were the shot caller.
Shit.
I am the coach of the most disorganized team, apparently. We have so much work to do, guys.
Yeah.
All right, well, it all starts in champion select.
Together.
All right, we'll throw something together quickly. I like the confidence. All right, and finally, there has been a bunch of publicity around it. I just want to make sure you guys are still friends, right?
Yeah, of course.
Of course.
There you have it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, double lift and Afro Moo. I'm going to let you guys go and get prepped for this matchup. For now, we're going to throw it back to Pulse at the Telestrator to go over the top plays from the IWC.
Thank you, Dash. And as we hone in on our #1 play of the year, it's time to look over the top highlights from the wildcard regions around the world. And first up, in Mortaru, it shows the Turkish Champion League the might of Shurima.
Geliyor. Rogue ve Rom'u öldürmüştü. Arkasından Elysion Rogue'yu öldürüyor. Skor geldi ve Semox'la Immortor'dan oyunlar. Bu kulenin altında işte Immortor birazdan içeri girecek ve mükemmel bir ulti. Mükemmel bir ulti.
Next up, Gigabyte Full Lewis's SOFM shows us how to invade with the Queen of the Xerxes.
Một cơ. Và ta quyết định ra trừng phạt cái con người đá này và tấn công vị trí Krellick khi mà phát hiện vị trí của Laga đi rồi. Tốc biến hất tung lên và đó là lần đầu tiên chúng ta thấy trong trận đấu này Sọp anh ta chứng minh khả năng của mình. Anh ta biết Layla ở đây bởi vì đằng sau có Scam, anh ta có nhất thống đến vị trí của Violet. Layla đang cố gắng, anh ta bị khiêu khích, anh ta bị tấn công và Sọp có double kill tình huống vừa rồi và có thể ăn tiếp vị trí của Scam và đó là triple kill không chính thức của Sọp. Ăn tiếp vị trí của Varus chẳng bởi vì King of War Scary đang chặn đầu, Thủy Lôi tầm nhìn ở vị trí của Fate, Violet đầu này rồi, thôi xong rồi. Và bây giờ Sọp ăn tiếp và đó là quadra kill không chính thức.
And to round out the nominees, INTZ's Yang sets them up as Tristana knocks them down.
Vão tentar ir pra cima. O Barão é deixado de lado pela equipe da Cade sem terça mais caixa. O Yang vai força! Segurou o time todo! O Micão garante a eliminação. Double kill pra ele. Cai agora o Yang na sequência. O Nylon utiliza pra longe. Triple kill da Tristana. Agora, amigo, o Yang brilhou como nunca.
That one was my personal favourite, but to vote on your favourite play from the wildcard regions around the world, tweet at LOL Esports with the corresponding hashtag and we'll tally up the votes later today. Now over to you guys for a look at the first regional clash.
Thank you so much, Pulse. That Nara actually was also my favorite. That looked very, very mighty impressive. But we are going to get into our first regional clash, and this will be played as a best-of-1 on Summoner's Rift and is worth 100 tournament points, so very important for Fire, a little bit more than Ice, but both, of course. And we're going to look at the first team on the blue side, the Commonwealth of Independent States. They are playing for Team Ice on the blue side of the Rift, and their lineup did really well yesterday with Smurf, Damashke, Kira, Lex, and Dimonko. And when we look at that matchup, immediately I think of Smurf and Kira from yesterday. Smurf solo killing Marin. Lex, even himself in that video, was like, what? What? How is this even possible?
Yeah, the best part is their reactions because Marin and FLICKR are like the two biggest stars that we have right now. They're world champions off the most recent world championship, and they get solo killed by these international wildcards, and they can't even believe it themselves.
I mean, CIS came in here, and they were, of course, the underdog. I didn't expect too much from them, but honestly, the fact they've done well in the 1v1 tournament, and now the start they had yesterday, if they can do the same versus NA, I mean, it might be a different story than yesterday where suddenly they fall behind, and obviously LCK kind of stomped them in the end.
Yeah.
NA might not be able to do the same.
Niels, what have you thought of this wildcard team coming in? They look pretty coordinated.
I mean, yesterday's match was kind of like, you know, a bit of chaos because FLICKR dying to random Lulu EQ when he's recalling, you know. So maybe he wasn't paying that much attention. Not saying he wasn't try-hiding, because that's not a nice word to say. But it was just some mistakes that you could maybe have thought about twice before you die. So
he's talking like a coach now.
Yeah,
like
right in the
2 days. And suddenly he's like, oh, I'm planning everything.
Yeah. Some mistakes could be cleaned up there.
Yeah. But in that team, I mean, Kira actually, over at Wildcard, he won the 1v1 tournament, and then he didn't do that well versus Naru in the final versus a Turkish team, and that is an understatement. And he seemed to have picked it up. And that CIS region, the Chinese team, they said they had practiced for 5 days, but these guys have played a tournament for 5 days just 1 week ago. So we saw them growing throughout those days.
I mean, we did, and obviously, again, for them coming into this tournament, it's about learning as much as possible and kind of showing what you can. I still think they have to earn the points through the 1v1 tournament. Kira did make some mistakes yesterday, but he's very good at playing the map. He knows when to get the relics and so on. That's what they should aim for.
You don't think they can take it versus NA?
I think NA is going to be the favorites for this one.
Okay.
But obviously, if there's a crazy start, a lot of kills, they can quickly snowball one way, and then maybe they can take it, but NA should be favorites.
I know Dyrus is crowdsourcing what champion to play right now. He tweeted out, he was asking for
He said he would
advice.
think about it.
Yeah, he'll take it into consideration.
Well, let's take a look at the rest of that lineup for Team Fire on the red side. The North American All-Stars, as you said, Dyrus, also Meteos, Bjergsen, Doublelift, and Afromu. And kind of similar to CIS versus LCK, a strong start, especially on the carries, Doublelift and Bjergsen, carrying in the beginning, racking up those kills, but then the Singe pick didn't really pan out.
Doublelift had a couple of face plants into enemy carries where he got 100%.
He had 2 guns.
Yeah.
He had 2 guns. No defensive stats to get that close to Anivia. Yeah, and he definitely paid the price a couple times. Bjergsen also missed a few Syndra stuns. Maybe he's a little rusty on the champion.
Yeah. But we did see the support item, the Frost Queen's claim on the Syndra.
It's a good item.
Yeah, nice 4 seconds slow forever. So yeah, this item is really good on mages that can like catch you with some sort of CC spell, like a Morgana or Syndra even. So I'm wondering if you see a lot of these like niche items, like this support item. And
Rageblade.
Yeah, very niche.
Yeah, very niche.
It actually is.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what the players decide to build. They are ready, so we can talk a little bit more about that later. We're going to head inside, and our casters are standing by to kick off the action.
Thank you very much, guys. We are ready here. I'm Quickshot, joined by Zyrene and Crepper. And yesterday was a whole lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to seeing these teams on stage once again and, you know, seeing Team Fire and Team Ice do battle.
Yeah, I just think it's fantastic that even at an all-star event, we invite these wildcard teams and then we put them up against a great team like the Commonwealth of Independent States.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Wildcard teams actually beat Europe. So I don't know if we qualify.
Okay, in all seriousness, initially coming to the event, I thought this matchup wouldn't be as close, but given that the early game yesterday against LCK, given that there were some question moves, yes, was somewhat close, I'm actually interested to see how this plays out, and especially if ICE is just going to go for an early game team comp, because that is where Fire was strong yesterday with this lineup of the NA players. They did do well in the early game, so I hope that ICE is just going to go ham.
Yeah. And when you look at the early game, both teams actually did well in the early game, but it was IWC, they did it off of individual solo kills in lane, and NA LCS did it off of roaming around and just ganking middle and having this team play where it was just super chaotic.
Yeah, very, very big stylistic mismatch. What I really liked about the Fire lineup yesterday was the combination of Bard and Zac, because it opens up so many gank opportunities and gank pathing that you can't usually get to. Wards usually spot you roaming, but they went over walls with the lead from the Zac. They used the portal too to get to creative gank situations, and ICE just wasn't ready for that.
Well, let's take a look what the last ban will be from the North American LCS. Vayne, Quinn, Rise. IWC have taken off the table. Both Lex and Doublelift are very heavy Vayne players. And with Lulu away from Kira, that's something that the IWC squad has actually defaulted to many times, including IWCA from Melbourne.
Yeah. Gangplank has received some changes over time, but with the new Essence Reaver, I wonder if that's going to be picked up. Could be a really good build, because back in the day, it was almost efficient to stack 2 eye edges on a Gangplank, so Essence Reaver eye edge might actually be a good build.
Spawn had such a big rant about that at IWCA because the GPs did not build it.
Yep.
They did not go for that Reaver into Triforce or Reaver into eye edge for the CDR build, and I want to see whether or not Kira or Smith have learned.
Yeah, because with Trinity Force with the 10% CDR on it now, you actually hit 40% CDR on Gangplank without having to use any runes or masteries to do so. So that's an extraordinarily good build for him here. I am interested, though, to see what he starts with, because we have seen some Gangplanks go for Cull because they're going for that later game, just trying to get to those item spikes. It leaves you very weak in the laning phase, though. I want to see if Smurf goes for that.
And of course, for the North American LCS yesterday, they had some fun with that Syndra, with that Singed. Didn't really work out, but a little bit more tryhard. Meteos on that Kindred, it was actually banned away yesterday, and of course Dyrus with the giant rock up top. Malphite's doing incredibly well in this meta.
Yeah, go ahead.
I definitely think everybody's going to start taking these regional matchups more seriously, NA included, because yesterday it looked like they were doing some fan service with favorite champions, but this looks like immediately power picks right out of the gate for them.
And I just like the combination. You go for a very heavy tanked up, especially one-dimensional armor champions, just like the Malphite, like the Rams, like you touched on yesterday, are just fit so well because we don't see that much armor stacking really going on. Lost Whispers being pushed back. We talked about that a little bit on the analyst test yesterday. And because you invest in such a really big tank, you can actually open up more damage in the jungle role with the Kindred. And then stylistically too, Malphite goes in, you protect your backline with the Kindred ulti. So many combinations already with just 2 picks.
Yeah, and I like the fact you're bringing up there. You have the tank in the top lane, and you have your primary hard engage there as well, so that frees up jungle picks, so you can have that AD carry. I remember being very concerned when people were like, Kindred's a jungler. It's like, where's your engage going to come from? And Malphite back in the meta definitely helps that out.
So let's see what NA do to round out their team comp. For IWC and the CIS squad, this is a departure from their standard. I was talking to Stress about the CIS team and their style from IWCA, and they tended to focus a lot of the resources around buffing Lex and trying to get him to carry. This time around, it's going to be reliant on the other members of the team to set up picks.
Yeah, if NA plays a similar style as yesterday, that may be troublesome in the early game, because if your cornerstone of your composition is the AD carry, but LB actually deals with him, they roam and kill everybody else on the map, then it kind of that support system just falls down, and eventually you'll just kill the AD carry anyway. So I want to see more skirmishes. I like that they pick Thresh Elise, combination with a lot of options in terms of roaming and ganking, and they will need to bring the fire because yeah, NA just roamed so well yesterday, so you need to find a way to shut that down.
I do find it very interesting. You like the picks of these pick champions of Elise and Thresh. I actually think a Gragas here as a counter pick to the Kindred would be absolutely incredible. But they end up going for, we're going to play our style, we're going to focus on picks. They're trying to dictate the pace of the game here on IWC's side as opposed to counter picking. It looks like they're just going to try to play their own game.
Interesting lane though.
Gentlemen, I smell a rat. We've not seen Nami in a very, very long time.
So the reason we haven't seen Nami in absolute ages is because she's absolutely garbage at roaming. I mean, you can walk into a lane, heal your somebody, but like the bubble is probably one of the most slowly paced skill shots in the world. So she's just not very efficient when roaming. And in lane, she kind of got all in. So if you gank Nami, she's guaranteed dead almost. So it'll be interesting to see how Bubble Whips and Afro are going to play around with this.
Yeah, Frost Queen's claim does help you land those bubbles, though.
Oh, definitely.
And that's a big reason that we're seeing her a little bit more. We're seeing more Sona. We're seeing Brand support. These mage supports are just so strong because that item is so strong.
Yeah. Really hard to play Nami into Kalista, though. But if you predict the hop and you land the bubble, yeah, you can get her in really awkward positions.
I do like the small pivot for that Kalista on AD carry. At least there is some form of engage. A little stronger than a single skill shot. Kira is going to be playing the Anivia. Bird is the word took off in the IWC playoff bracket. But again, slow scaling. It's a bit of a mixed match here for the CIS team.
Problem with Anivia is that she's really good at kiting, but you don't want to kite at Twitch because the range exceeds the kiting potential. You have hard engage against Anivia, which is Malphite into Anivia unless she has her flash ready is actually really good. So I don't think thematically the pick really works out, even with the composition that Ice is running. Maybe we're just sticking to the team, Ice, get a crossbird.
It does end up having a lot of scaling across this composition, minus the Elise and the Kalista. Their solo lanes have a lot of room to grow, but it also has amazing zone control. This entire composition, you can set up zones, you have a lot of knock-up in CC to actually have a team fight. This is a counter-engage composition, though. You most likely will not be going into them unless you get a good hook or a pick.
Yeah, the way to play it is literally just wall off the backline as Malphite goes in. But even then, I think Twitch can usually outrange that. Bjergsen on Fizz can get over that, throw his Orca over at least to buy himself some time. Tidal Wave, again, against slow-moving champions like Anivia, Tidal Wave is really solid from Nami. So, yeah, options on both team sides. Just need to see how they play the early game.
Feels like room to outplay if you're a Fire or North American supporter.
Very little wave clear though on the side of Fire. If they do get behind, Fizz doesn't play very well from behind. Kindred has a tiny bit, Twitch with ulti, but like if you're getting siege upon by the Anivia, like Anivia Q, Thresh, Hook, Elise Cocoon, zoning ultimate, zoning barrels, definitely siege advantage in terms of Ice.
Yeah, this seems like NA, Fire, they want to play basically how they played yesterday. Roam around the map, just have these skirmishes, free up Bjergsen on Fizz, and just go everywhere. But Ice is doing exactly the opposite. They drafted for late game. They lost in the late game yesterday. Now they're trying to shore up that weakness and see that they have some power there.
Well, yesterday we did see the IWC squad pick up some solo kills. And take a look at the team comps on your screen. Who do you think is going to pick up those 100 points? Hashtag Ice win or hashtag Fire win. Kobe and Deficio, I hope you're listening. That is how you deliver a hashtag line.
I mean, it's easy if it's on the screen.
You
can read,
so.
Trevor. Congratulations.
I can read, but Deficio unfortunately cannot. We will have to teach him to read English, not Danish. But that is a task for another day. We're loading up onto the Rift. It is Ice taking on Fire, CIS taking on NA.
Oh man, the Kindred mark coming off on Kira immediately, right into the death note there for him. Meteos I want to see how he plays this Kindred out, because Kindred has so much early pressure. You hit level 2, you can jump around a ton. You hit level 3, you can pretty much gank and skirmish anybody in the game extraordinarily well, including Elise. You have a lot of ways to dodge the cocoon and a lot of ways to outplay her and deal with spiraling simultaneously.
Interesting mid lane matchup here, as we see a bit of a face check. Afram was hiding. He doesn't want to skill bubble early, so he's just going to double stuff from. Yep. It's the mark. Great Anivia player. Let's go through. Double proc. But the difference here is that Bjergsen is running a corruption potion. So he wants very well timed harass. And it can work. In this matchup, it's most beneficial for the Anivia to hold the Q. Because if you launch it, Fizz can always counter-engage by getting up on the pole and then slide down, just harass you. So you really want to kind of wait for that to happen and then re-engage with the Q, put him in a stun, wall him off technically, use your minions to your advantage.
I'm going to keep my eyes on Smurf, running that Grasp of the Undying Gangplank up in the top lane. Play for the sustain, keep himself healthy and farming away. Meteos will try to get into that lane to counter-gank or deal with Tamashka. And at least there's going to be a lot of options available to him because there's hard CC and tons of damage in every lane.
And the way this early game seems to be playing out is that Doublelift and Afram will being team players, leeching for Meteos, while Lex and Dimonco, they're saying, well, we just want XP for lane, so they're doing the Krugs. They will have an XP advantage. Mind you, it's not as large as it used to be. Because of the way the jungle has changed, that you now get bonus experience from the jungle items, so the base experience on these camps has been lowered.
Yeah, they're still going to pick up a lot of experience, though. They didn't miss a single creep here. If they can catch that EXP, they'll actually get a level advantage if they walk up and just get it here.
Good trading from Doublelift, though. The hook needs to come out here.
So damage. The Bray comes down. Summoner heals are used. That's a flash away from Doublelift. First blood secured by Aframu. Doublelift will follow. Support combat. Yado is going to be so happy. Dimonco is going to flay Afro away.
Watch out.
For more. The death sentence does not find the fishy business, and the emblem flies up for fire.
God, just Dimonco he didn't prop the W passive from the Kalista early enough, and then later on he just didn't realize that Aframu was standing in 6 creeps. Here's exactly what we were talking about. If you use an offensive Q, Bjergsen will jump over, but gotta go back to that trade. Dimonco, he could have obliterated Aframu because he was stuck in minions. When 6 range creeps are helping you, just whack away on the enemy support, just fight it out, duke it out.
Not this time.
And Lexnov doesn't even use his flash in there as well. This seemed like a trade that you could have gotten away with rather easily. They both dedicated to it, and they got the counter kills, but still.
Well, Meteos lingering. Double buffs up. Bjergsen got that ignite, but they need to get to Kira and his egg. Damashka is relatively nearby. Let's see for the engage. Bjergsen is going to hop and skip over the stun. Flash for flash as Meteos comes in. Kira's been egg. Flash over from Damashka. He connects with a cocoon, but it will not matter. A turret shot takes down Meteos. Double kill for Team Fire. And Bjergsen and Meteos walk out alive.
You have to know the damage output of the Kindred early game. It is so high. The Qs, the auto attacks, they're woven in, and you can't really see them all hit at the same time. It is a gigantic burst.
I mean, Bjergsen played that pretty well. He was acting stupid. Like, he kept eating auto attacks over and over and over until Kira was like, I can kill this guy, I can kill Bjergsen, I kill FLICKR, I can kill Bjergsen too, but no. Again, use Q first. Bjergsen, title tricks, just jumps over. Then Meteos comes in. Pretty simple gank overall. And yeah, if it was 1v1, maybe Kira. But right now we're playing 2v1.
And this is scary for IWC. They picked up some kills in lane yesterday by surprising maybe the LCK squad. North America not falling prey. They've already got themselves 1,000 gold advantage and sitting pretty. But Doublelift CS is hurting in this bottom lane.
Exactly. They've been able to zone him off of this. And as Twitch, it's actually a very big problem because you need to be able to keep ahead of the curve as Twitch because the whole point of it is to have those mid-game spikes.
Now the problem is actually that way back to level 1. Hang on, we see an exchange here. Again, Bjergsen hasn't E'd yet, so he's waiting with that E every time to cancel out the Anivia Q. The problem in the bot lane is, yes, they traded kills evenly and Doublelift got first spot, but the wave was pushing towards IWC from that level 1, and the experience advantage was still on the IWC lineup. Bjergsen now in with some zone, has a double buffs available, so he's playing stronger. But in that bot lane, Doublelift had to concede a lot of CS because the lane was technically frozen there by Dimonco by the time Lex got back, so still a pretty tough bot lane for the NA squad.
Doing a little bit to pull themselves back up. Aframu's heals, as well as that wind speakers, will at least help out somewhat. But Meteos is in a good position. Think about a dive. Bjergsen's getting close to Chum the Waters. There's a big level disparity between him and Kira as well, thanks to that kill much earlier on.
And if you have egg, you can actually play a little different against Fizz with Chum the Waters, but if you're sitting on no egg, then your entire playstyle changes because Bjergsen can die on their tower if he tries to take down Anivia plus egg, but Bjergsen can just immediately swoop in and get out alive. So Kira under a lot of pressure, even though Meteos is spotted.
This is actually pretty interesting for Meteos. He went straight for the Caulfield's Warhammer instead of getting more EXP from having the jungle items, and that just says immediately he's looking to kill people in the jungle. He's looking to roam around. He's already marked Elise, so Damashka's like, oh, he's looking for me. So this is just clearly indicative of what Meteos wants to do. He's telegraphing what he's trying to accomplish here. So you can actually just skirt around that by continuing to farm opposite side of the jungle and not have to deal with him at all.
And that's exactly what Aframu said in the pre-game interview, that it was dealing with Meteos and giving him some pointers that was going to help them out today. So some props to Meteos, 101. We've not really talked too much about those top laners. Dyrus in a bit of a farm matchup against this Gangplank. Got himself a small CS lead and teleport advantage as well. We'll see if Dyrus opts to use that or run back to lane. Because that's going to be a win of opportunity with that Unstoppable Force.
You want to hold that so you have the Unstoppable Force TP combo.
Yep, he's playing against a guy that solo killed Marin, but the thing is, Dyrus actually, now that he has retired, is leveling new accounts, so he has dealt with a lot of Smurfs overall. This one is no different.
Oh my god.
Get out.
This is Boo, yes. Feed me that Boo.
Oh my god. You've been around freak too.
Oh, bottom.
There's the TP.
There's the teleport. Chum the Waters finds Demonko. Dyrus throws the Unstoppable Force down, and Demonko follows shortly. Now Lex is caught between a Krug, a Meteos, and Lamb. Lamb's Respite is not available yet for Meteos. Cocoon finds Double Lift. And the rest of the North American squad will happily take the tower. And look at all that CS to be denied as well.
Yeah, but look at the opportunity cost. So this is a 5-man bot lane party. This is Forgiven's worst nightmare overall. But they only get 1 kill. Lex did a beautiful flash there and forced little damage on Meteos. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Smurf playing a champion that is incredibly weak in the early game gets some leeway right here. If this tower doesn't really go down very quickly, the opportunity cost of his play may be too high.
It's quite interesting how Bjergsen got there without Kira doing anything about it. Because what happened was he shoved the middle wave up, Kira had to deal with it, and then there's a pink ward in that side right river bush, and then there's a pink ward behind their red. So he went all the way down there not being spotted.
And this is the way you play the matchup. Hang on, Demonko gets caught.
Let's find out. Bubble throws him up in the air. There's a little bit of support from Damashki. The Lantern's available. Tidal Wave will not find a target, and Demonko needs to flash away, but he stays alive.
You were talking about the Anivia Fizz matchup.
Yeah,
keep getting to this point.
Yeah, every time I start talking about that matchup, some action happens. You guys be boring, please. Nah, he uses the ultimate, doesn't throw the E. He basically fakes out Bjergsen. That Bjergsen tries to dodge the potential E that's coming in when Playful Trickster. Then you instantly Q when he lands, because you can telegraph that. Bjergsen, once the landing animation starts, he can't change direction unless he flashes. Double damage from a stun into an E, and then Bjergsen lost that rate heavily.
Yeah, it's an interesting matchup pre-6 when she doesn't have the ultimate on Anivia's side, because it's then whoever uses an ability first, whether you use Q or Fizz uses E. But then after 6, you can keep baiting that out and keep faking him out with the E. I think that's actually a great shift in this matchup here, because then the execution goes on to Fizz, and that's where the burden ends up going. Especially since he doesn't have the same type of scaling that Kira does on that Anivia.
Well, luckily for Bjergsen, he's keeping even in CS, got himself a kill, some assists, so, you know, the risk of being falling behind in lane, not really a problem. But Kira is invested for this late game. Already picked up that tier, starting to stack that.
Yeah, instead of Catalyst, that's a risky approach. If the jungle shows up at any time, you're probably going to die and lose your egg. Many Anivias seem to be starting Catalyst.
Yeah, Rod got buffed as well, just flat 20 AP when you first buy it. So
I mean,
it's,
you still want both, but a lot of people prefer to go Catalyst, tier, finish Rod, and then move on to building it. Just because of the amount of times if you get it early, you level up so often. That proc pays so many dividends overall. But if all you're doing is wave clearing, tier is the more efficient to build. But it's a very greedy approach.
See if Meteos goes for the punish there. It just looks like Meteos is trying to control the jungle at this point. Run over to the other blue. And now he's going to hand this one off to Bjergsen and see if he can get leg up in that matchup.
But the few times Meteos has shown and has resulted in some kills and some presence. So, you know, good early game impact on this Kindred. But now all of a sudden there's a window of opportunity for the CIS region. Teleport is available for Smurf. He's been sitting on quite a lot of gold, in fact. Just spent it on that Phage and the Greaves. And Smurf is going to TP up. So any possibility is going to be reliant on that cannon barrage. Nothing else. Well, let's see what CIS can do. Still 1,000 gold down. Tempo is slowed down, but all of the ultimates are available for North America. Some Playful Tricksters to dodge the damage and walks out of the set.
Yeah, so top lane right now is a no gank zone. Mid is playing very far back, especially doesn't want to go aggro because of the counter engage potential. with that tier build. So all the action is going to be on bottom. That's why we saw the Elise Pink Ward and now sneaking in. But Doublelift and Afro were playing with enough respect. So right now, that's why NA is doing the counterplay. They're roaming 3-man top. Just a normal gank's not enough. But the conversion here leaves the top part of the map completely exposed.
Smurf is going to use the cannon barrage to try and clear out the wave. Chum the Waters will hold him in place. Styrus flashes to stay alive. Bubble throws up Lex into the air. Demonko gets pulled in by the Fate's call, and he lobs back forward onto Doublelift. Rat-a-tat-tat, the rat will go splat. Demoshke finds the cocoon. Doublelift is being tagged up. A Ren will secure a kill. IWC in a 3v2. They find themselves at least one. Afro goes back in. He gets one back onto the spider. Now Lex will not have enough auto attacks to kill Afro. Afro gets out alive. Dyrus is running them down. He needs a seismic shard. It's not enough to kill Lex. Lex will use the Pierce to get out, and he manages to stay alive.
If he can keep him around here, though, Bjergsen is running down here. He could be able to dive him because tier 2 turrets don't give you a shield anymore either.
Let's find out. Bjergsen does not have Chum. He does have Flash, and he may not commit for this one. Does back out, and Lex and Demonko. Whew, that was close.
It hurts though.
Oh yeah.
That was a really poorly executed fight. The critical support in me is dying. There were so many misplays. Doublelift and Afro played it well though overall. They kind of got baited in by the amount of like misplays on the IWC side. Like these guys, what are they doing? We can take them. Then Elise showed up. Really good aggressive flash from Afro though. He still survived because if you don't execute with the Rend, obviously, you can't put any more new stacks until the ability comes off cooldown, and that's what happened there. We wasn't getting any Rend stacks on him. Also duped the Q from the Kalista, so good play by Afro move. Room for improvement on Lex and Demonko side.
Solid 6.5 out of 10.
Yep.
That fair?
Fair enough.
So take a look at Smurf. He's now earned himself a CS advantage thanks to Dyrus leaving lane. I think it's going to be enough for Smurf to finish off that Triforce. We'll see if he decides to go for the Essence Reaver. Something that we would maybe like to see. Really synergizes with the whole GP kit.
It just sounds so strong. Like, what do you get? You get AD, you get CDR. The more crit you get, the more CDR you get overall. So it sounds like a great item for him, but might still want to go IE second and then buff it all up with the Reaver third. Maybe you need some more defense. I don't really play Gangplank that often. I'm not that guy.
He's tough. He's tough. Every time I play him, it's like, hold my beer! Barrels everywhere! And I totally suck at it. But because they got that bot lane turret, it freed up Afro Moon, it frees up Doublelift to make all of these plays around the map. And because it's a Twitch, this puts a lot of pressure on a lot of members of the team.
Exactly. Yesterday's NA strength was the roaming, and Doublelift is actually going to do that. He is 0, 2, and 3, has the BF and the Zeal right now. Getting behind Kira. Kira's all spells on cooldown. This opens up for Doublelift.
Tidal Wave will not knock him out, but Expunge will hit a lot. Knocked away from Kira.
Correct!
That is your 1v1 champion from IWCA, picking up the kill on Doublelift.
That's actually such an interesting mechanic because normally you can't flash auto attacks. Once the projectile launches and is locked onto you, it will follow you after flash. But the way Twitch gets changed, we see Smurf duke it out with Meteos here.
Oh, Smurf popped that barrel a little too early. Meteos, Dance of Arrows, he goes forward. There's a 2-level deficit. Lamb's Respite will keep him alive. He's going to get the heal and should Q out. Oh! Meteos with the swagger.
That's knowing the limitations of Kindred. You can tell that Meteos has cheesed a couple people with this champion.
Gotta wait, gotta be patient.
Now 3-0-1. And his job. Doublelift, he's back for round 2.
If at first you don't succeed.
Try again. Opts against it this time round.
They did end up losing their bot lane turret, though. We have to take another look at that.
Yeah.
That was beautiful.
All spells go down, which means it opens up for an opportunity. Afro misses the tidal wave, and here, right here. This flash, this projectile usually... Okay, the next one. I lied. Yeah, the observers told me. Because Twitch's ultimate doesn't make it to it's a targeted projectile, it just goes in a line, kind of, because it wants to hit multiple people. That's when you can actually start flashing it. I never even realized to that extent that you could really use it for an outplay potential, because he did need the time to get that RE combination off. He didn't do it early enough. If the projectile trailed, he would have just got egged and Doublelift would have survived and likely killed Kira. So, really smart play.
Yeah, I thought he was going to survive and kill him while he's in the egg, but that flying E there and just that one tick of the R, the chill, barely being on it long enough for that.
If only it was, hang on.
Oh, that's a lot of damage.
Back in the day, whenever you typed in chat when you were in egg form, it was Eggnivia. So it actually would have been Eggnivia has slain Doublelift.
Well, would have been that way. Trinity Force completed there for Smurf. IWC, they've slowed the tempo down somewhat, but they're still hemorrhaging gold, they're still hemorrhaging control, because the NA squad is almost completely unlocked and roaming. Look at some of your first items. Doublelift, in fact, picking up the Hurricane first. Spam out that poison, it multi-contaminates down. Cannon Barrage helping out, or rather hindering, the NA squad, so that will at least stop the Rift Herald for now.
Yeah, Doublelift is basically building as if he was picked Ballista here.
Yep.
He's pretty much going to try to do the same thing with Contaminate, get the Contaminate stacks on people and then try to pop them. But it doesn't reset and it doesn't do the same type of mechanic. I actually not a huge fan of that buy on Twitch, because Twitch just has such a huge mid-game power spike. If you get the Yumas, it's in such a good spot now, too.
Yeah, still trying to figure out the late game. If he pops the ulti and then he has the AoE bolts, how that exactly works together. Now that Twitch can crit as well. That's the difference with Runans. Now the bolts can crit, so late game Twitch can actually get pretty disgusting.
It's funny because the bolts can crit, but we cut the damage in half of the bolts. So if they crit, they go back to normal damage values.
Still worth.
Yeah.
It does give them a little bit of wave clear if he walks into the wave, at least, so...
We'll see if NA ever forced to be in that position. Demonko put a box down. Afromoose flashes out, so assume a death sentence connected. Kira's now in trouble, will not have his egg available to him. Meteos and Bjergsen find a very easy kill, and this will lead to a lot of damage on that tower.
Really good side lane pressure, forcing people to put too much defense on the side lanes, leaving Kira completely exposed in the mid lane. Dyrus have 3-lane on the bottom, even force Smurfs to teleport, so IWC needs to be a little more proactive. They can't commit to 3 members in the top side of the map if they don't get any value out of it.
There's no way to defend this tower with either Smurf or Kira not in place. And Smurf teleported down to defend the bottom in a turret. So Dyrus is now going to have teleport advantage, a large gold advantage, map control. It's just a matter of where North America decides to push, because they got all the tools to take any objective.
Yeah, more importantly, if Dyrus connects with Kira, that is like the only magic damage on the side of IWC. Yes, at least does a little bit, but it's not enough to take a tanky Malphite down. That means Malphite can just soak up the double 80 damage from the Gangplank and from Lexus Kalista there in the backline. So it is really paramount that Kira manages to flash that ulti. Might even be worth getting distortion boots, but the way Anivia builds right now is there's actually not an early boots upgrade. Very easy Malphite ultis, if not for flash.
Well, Dyrus with flash available is going to make it even easier. And you know, I got to call him out because he was looking for suggestions on Twitter on which champion to play. I submitted Kha'Zix, he disregarded that.
Rightfully so.
And when, you know, North America trying to help out Team Fire, looking to pick up another 100 points. They trail 150 to Team Ice, so quite a lot on the line here.
That tweet you're actually talking about, he didn't say what champion, he said, what should I play today? My favorite response was League of Legends.
Oh, pedantic. So pedantic. But technically correct is the best kind of correct after all. Doublelift going to be clearing out these waves, and as you mentioned, NA not a strong lead, had pretty good vision yesterday. It's just a matter of picking a target and going for it.
NA is playing the macro game better though. This continues pushing on the side lanes, really uncontested. IWC is only challenging once in their jungle, but that puts you so far behind in map control and tempo. They have the one saving grace, which is the Scuttle Crab. You see Rift Talon, there's no Baron, easily take that in vision.
See who's going to pick this up. Cannon Barrage again being thrown down, and whoa, CIS team is nearby, so that should, at the very least, mean it's not going to be secured until the Herald swaps out for Baron.
Yeah. But Dyrus back to the bottom lane, no teleport, no global ultimate, so he's going to put some pressure, and then we can see again how NA is going to use that pressure on other sides of the map. Right now you'll see very passive posturing, top left or in the mid lane right here. Trying to get some vision in, it can get punished because it is 5v4 on the map on that side, so Meteos has to chill a little bit.
A lot of damage when Smurf is able to connect with those barrels. Comes up the BF sword and those two long swords, so continuing to stack up. I think if given enough time, CIS may be able to thwart the wave pressure, but the problem is, again, teleport advantage for Dyrus. He's just going to keep split pushing.
Yeah.
Bjergsen is coming to help. I think this tower may even fall in this next wave. Let's see if they decide to commit for it.
Now it's just counting dots.
This one gives them an engaged top, though.
Doublelift is caught. Demonko pulls him back. Lands respite. Will keep Doublelift alive. Even going to be enough time for him to heal. Kira's down in the bottom lane, and Smurf is finally moving top, but it's just Smoke and mirrors.
Back and forth, back and forth. The difference here is that NA is playing proactive and IWC is playing reactive. The second NA team realizes that there's more people that they can deal with in the bottom lane, they go back off, they play passive, and they go aggressive on the other side of the map right here. That's the complete opposite from IWC. They see players, they're like, oh, let's fight him, and they end up in numbers disadvantage continuously.
And they need to do this, though, because when you're up against an Anivia, she's just going to wave clear instantaneously, and the lack of wave clear on this NA squad means you have to make plays just like this. They see them, though.
Tiny bit. Cannon Barrage will only be up in a few seconds here. Baron is taking a very, very long time. 4,500 hit points. North America have once again been thwarted from the giant purple beast. This time around, it's Baron that's interrupted, not Herald.
Yeah, but this leaves a big window here because IWC is grouped where their strength is strong. Remember, in Champs League, we were talking about how good they were at sieging right now. Baron isn't taken. That's the opportunity cost of a failed Baron attempt. Mid lane is open. There's no side lane pressure anymore. Everybody has to base router, and suddenly all the map pressure that NA was building up suddenly is lost.
Oh, IWC going to need a few more of those mistakes from NA if they want to claw back this deficit they find themselves in. Still 4,000 gold. But they're growing in power. That rod is almost fully stacked for Kira. BF sword and the recurve bow for Lexi. He's getting closer towards what I assume is going to be that Hurricane next.
I am not a big fan of what Bjergsen's been doing with his trinket. It's not a red trinket yet, and he keeps sitting in these brushes trying to get picks on people, and he has no way to sweep it. So this just keeps stunting him from actually picking people off. And he's trying to flank them and do these things. You need to get that trinket. You need to swap that out.
Yeah, or just get more pink wards. Pink wards so valuable in this match. 75 gold for a ward that probably nobody will find anyways because they're too lazy to look in the brush where they're walking through. And it removes vision. It's cheap. Everybody buy a pink ward, maybe 2. You'll win games.
Trust the support to deliver that message. Brought to you by All-Star.
Brought to you by Sports Incorporated. We value your vision.
I do want to talk a little bit about jungling here, because Meteos has had actually a really good tournament so far. In the previous game, his Zac was really, really good.
Yep.
And in this game, his Kindred...
How did that end up for you?
We don't talk about it. It's too soon. Too soon. Give us...
It was all fine until the accident happened.
Yep. Which we can blame a double F, right? It's not
Yes.
Zac's fault, so...
Well, they didn't have a leader. They have no coach. Dash is slacking. But Meteos, his stacks, he's only got 3 right now. He hasn't been able to actually go into these jungle camps and actually pick them up and get all of these stacks. So Meteos has been trying to kill people and get pressure, but that's started to slow down. But once you get to this point as Kindred, where you've pushed in those outer turrets, you should be getting these stacks so that you can do a quick Baron. And he only has 3 still.
Yeah, let's see if we can get a few more, because CIS are starting to group up. Everybody has every spell available, with the exception of one summoner on the side of NA. But look at the grouping. Dyrus up top with teleport. The rest of NA immediately see an opportunity. Peel for the middle lane. Unstoppable force onto Lex. Chum the Waters finds him as well. And that bunny rabbit is happy. Double bubble will lock up Dimashkir and Demonko. And Meteos will throw some autos onto that inner turret. Bjergsen goes golden after dashing through a minion. It's going to flash as well. Better safe than sorry. There's no unstoppable force available, but there is a tidal wave, a double barrel chain. Demonko's going in, but there's no support. The tower falls as Lamb's Respite keeps everybody alive. Demonko flashes out. I don't think the poison will kill him, but North America have got themselves some kills, have got themselves a tower, and will peel away safely.
Meteos want that stack there. 4 stacks for Meteos.
Only they brought a pink ward, man. We could double it. Just saying. And that was actually really good engage from Dyrus, because generally Dyrus Malphite ultis are really easily flashed, especially on 8 ping, but if you don't expect that he's actually going to go for the play, it really didn't look like there was any opportunity to actually get that into a kill, but good synergy there from Dyrus and Bjergsen, just saying go, immediately evaporating opposition there.
Lift using the stealth to his advantage, playing a living ward and decides against it. So Dragon number 1 will at least be a small solace, and for IWCA, they've got themselves an Essence Reaver on Smurf. I actually talked about this yesterday, how in Melbourne, the teams went for 5 of those blue trinkets. They've done it again, Cyrene.
This vision is actually quite strange, because it's permanent. You can put as many of them out as possible. They just stay forever. The only problem is your only wards are your Sightstone, and then you have the warding smite, but you have no way to remove the enemy wards from their Sightstone.
It's a good approach if you're behind. Hang on.
Oh, Smurf is going to get knocked up. Bjergsen, wow, that's just so much damage. And Smurf maybe way in enemy territory.
I mean,
you got no vision.
Doesn't matter if like you have the wards, you still gotta watch your minimap.
Yeah.
He saw them coming. But yeah, overall, those 5 blue trinkets, it works if you're playing against a very heavy pick composition that tries to wait in brushes. You just have the safety check. You don't really want to get close enough to ward that, because generally right now warding range gets you killed. And if all you want to do is deny Baron baits, it's impossible to bait Baron against this. You can rush it, but you can't simply just bait it, because all the phase checks will get denied. So in that sense, it does make sense, but I would like to see it improved or upgraded sidestone at least.
Oh, double lift.
Kira has found double lift, but it will not be able to kill him. The heal of the QSS came out. Kira's been egged. He will get dropped shortly. Demonka uses the Fate's Call, knocks up a few members of North America, but for little effect.
Bjergsen.
The auto attacks come down, and double lift finds one more. Bjergsen, playful tricksters out, and Smurf not even able to pick that one up. North America have got 4. Chains the barrels together for Smurf. It will slow down the push, but little less than that. Tower down, Inhibitor next to North America. They have a numbers advantage. There is another line of minions, safeties to back away, bravados to go for the Nexus.
And more importantly, Korea only managed to get killed by IWC 4 times, NA only 3 times so far. So simple math dictates NA greater than KR.
I'll trust your professional opinion on that one, but here's the team fight.
Big ward. Look at the beauty that brings to you. But then 4v5, they have the right concept, just need to nail the execution. That was a beautiful pink ward, beautiful engage. Do it with 5 people, and I'm a fan. Overall, instant reaction from Team Fire. They knew they could win the fight, so they just plowed on through. And then Bjergsen, whoop.
Yeah, you're lacking Smurf at that point, but speaking of lacking somebody.
Lex, whoop.
Gets popped.
Yep.
Still 3 times. That's the one thing to lose.
Still 3 times, okay. That's what we're playing for.
Oh, looking.
The chilly spooky ghost, they're going to slow Demonka. Double it, sidesteps the cocoon. He's going to get all his autos down. The barrels, choke him with 400. He gets the heal from Afromu, and he's dunked by Smurf. Red buff ticking away. Smurf is looking for a serving of sushi. There is no flash available, but the red buff is slowing Afro. Barrel comes up, it's sidestep. Smurf is looking for more.
Looking another.
5 deaths!
And the order is restored.
Right, teleport can't. Hashtag All-Star big plays.
Fire Dyers.
What I love about that is seeing everybody laughing, including the North American players. Double lift and Afromu.
Bjergsen has like the biggest grin on his face right now.
And I can see the other regional casters as well going, oh, Dyrus. So,
well, both of them went for it. Bjergsen launched in 2. It's not only Dyrus. That was really good timing, but teleport got cancelled.
It's that trust fall. You're going for it. Oh, I'm committing.
I mean, we're a team.
So North America just have to close this one out. They do have themselves an inhibitor down in the bottom lane. A monumental lead. And it's just a matter of sieging up. To be fair, they do need to deal with the Anivia wave clear. And the Gangplank wave clear. But they've got tools to do so.
You have to be a little careful, though, because these 4 members that are on the top side of the map away from Bjergsen can do this Baron really quickly. Meteos now has 7 stacks of his passive. That's 8.75% of current health. It is capped against monsters in some way, shape, or form, but it's so fast.
TLDR, it hurts.
Yes.
Let's see, Damashka now in a little bit of trouble. We'll have the support of Demonko and the Lantern. And Bjergsen's making his way up. Fate's Call has been primed. Kira, he's left on the wrong side of the river. Meteos is in trouble. Lamb's Respite will delay the proceedings and nobody can go down. Lex gets out of the Lamb's Respite and gets dropped. Meteos follows shortly thereafter, and they are just trading. This will be cleaning house for North America. Smurf, the last man remaining. He's going to at least pop a barrel onto Bjergsen. Prep another one, and there's
he might be able to get both of them if he plays this perfectly.
Oh, I doubt that. Let's see what Smurf can do. Continuing to run. Bjergsen.
Turn up.
Turn up. Turn up.
They're just playing with them. You're not supposed to.
Oh, no!
Oh, Dyrus is ending again.
Well done, Smurf.
Oh, they want more.
Then barrel mechanics. North America peeling their way to the middle lane. Gonna try and knock down another tower. And the spooky Afromu Ghosts will at least interrupt and disrupt Damashq and Demonko. But again, NA, they're not backing away. Chum the Waters is up for Bjergsen.
Yeah, but that fight though, that was really nice. There were a couple nice outplays there, really good spacing as we wait for the pick. Hopefully nobody faced tech so we can finish the story. Like Kira had a really good wall there, keeping the enemies at bay there, but Bjergsen played that beautifully. Waited for the E from Kira to start traveling before his Zhonya's, so they wasted a lot of cooldowns. Overall, NA won that fight, I believe, like 3 against 5, so solid play there. I think they know. Shh.
They were waiting for
If you wait long enough, people generally tend to, like League players, suffer from some amnesia. Even though they saw you enter the brush, they never saw you leave. They'll still face check you eventually.
Let's see.
They're not a Baron. They're not a Dragon.
Where can they be?
The minigame's over now. Spawn Inhibitor's going to respawn shortly. The rest of IWC on the middle lane, and Doublelift is making his way down. So, I mean, Afro's still chilling in that bush with Tyrus. Get some s'mores, guys. Build a tent. Chill out. Well, I think when the minions hit the tower, Just is in trouble. Am's Respite will buy some time. Tidal Wave comes in as well. Bjergsen's looking for one. So it's a kill advantage to IWC. Bjergsen got stunned, got cocooned, but there's nothing more to follow. 3-man unstoppable force with Doublelift down. This could be trouble. They've killed Demonko, North America. Bjergsen is going to hop away and kill the ward. Overall, IWC win the fight, 1 for 2.
The IWC, they had vision on Baron. They knew that the only pick could be made in the bottom right of their screen, so they just engaged somewhere in the middle where they have safety in numbers. Probably open, we didn't see it, but Lex's Fate's call is on cooldown, so it's probably what they used.
So starting to see some clear weaknesses in this North American All-Star squad. Mid to late game, no clear shot caller.
It's so strange too, because the bot lane has just this open inhibitor now. It was respawning during this time, and they weren't even pushing the opposite side. Meteos gets walled in. He also gets pulled out of his Rams Respite here and gets killed before it's even over. Really well played there. But then, as soon as Dyrus goes in, Doublelift is already off of the map. Boom.
Wow, that's so much damage from
And
Smurf.
now they don't have damage here.
Yeah, really good battle control there from Smurf, and the Fate's call used to finish off Doublelift overall, so he just got insta-gip. Gotta watch that range, especially when you're playing Twitch. Gotta make use of that ultimate.
We're starting to see some, again, the IWC players, individually and mechanically, they're making some great plays. We're late enough in the game that our Smurf has got an Infinity Edge completed. Archangel's completed for Kira. He's got a needlessly large rod, but probably working towards, let's get touching on in a second. Dyrus has found his target. Demonko's going to get pulled back by the Fate's Call, and the Bunny Rabbit is repelled. Dyrus gets caught by the Flame, but Demonko doesn't want that. Shutdown from Lex onto Bjergsen. That's a gigantic bounty spread across the CIS region. But the barrels and the damage from the poison means Doublelift has killed Lex. Kira gets egged and comes back to life. It's a 1-for-1. But it's not over yet. Barrels onto Afro. Short. Afro was able to flash away. North America, though, they may have got some time. They've got a gigantic banner of command minion onto the turret, and now Kira, he's in trouble. He's got the auto attacks. Doublelift sidesteps the stun and buys himself a pigeon for dinner.
You're seeing the compositional weaknesses here from North America's side show, but they're going to keep going right now. Not sure if they're going to get too much.
Demonko maybe anticipating the QSS. He's now in trouble. Meteos is going to get the kill credit. Inhibitor will drop. It's 35 seconds before Kira is up, and Doublelift will get himself a kill onto Damashq. No, I take it back. Flash forward from Meteos, he gets himself another. Now Lex is in trouble. Lamb's Respite will keep Meteos alive. The Nexus will be dropping in North America. They toyed with our hearts, but they will be closing this game out. The banner of command empowered minion will help them. An ace against the CIS, and North America get 100 points for Team Fire.
And now only 50 points between Team Fire and Team Ice right now. It's getting closer. That's one fun game mode away. If they can take the AD carry mode, they'll even up the score of this entire tournament.
Yeah. Just a fun game overall. I had fun watching that game. I really enjoyed it. So it was the good mix between the band word tryhard and just fun gameplay. A couple mistakes made it fun to watch. And yeah, good job to the IWC guys for playing so well from behind, and then NA, good job for giving them the room to At least give us an entertainable game. But they took it down in the end.
It was quite worrisome there because if that game had gone on a little bit longer, Smurf with that 40% CDR and that crit and how he was playing on that Gangplank, he was just getting warmed up. And then Cure on the Anivia, it would have spelled disaster. So props to both of these teams.
Yeah, very well played. Smurf's Gangplank showing up that game. Kira's Anivia was decent. He had some very good plays in the 1v1, but you just didn't feel in the team fights.
I think he adapted very well. So he learned more about the matchup as he was playing it, and that's generally the mark of good players, because the first 2 Qs that he threw out weren't as great because you could see that Dirksen was out playing, but later on he started using that to his advantage. You know, all these matchups about trading cooldowns, you know, using the key abilities to win the matches. I think they did a great job.
They definitely did. Gentlemen, it is 100 points to Team 5. We're going to head over to the analyst desk to break down that match.
Thank you very much, Trevor. Definitely is banking points there for Team Fire and a good performance. Let's take a look at the picks and bans. Because, Niels, I remember when we were looking at them, you saw the first 2 picks coming out of NA, which was Malphite and Kindred. You were like, oh, that's terrible. They lost the pick and ban already. But then it seemed to shape up after that.
I didn't say they lost it. I just said that I feel like GP Trash Elise was a better first 3 picks than the first 3 picks of NA, which was Nami, Malphite, and Kindred. Kindred is a good jump. Malphite is fine too, but I just feel like the picks from IWC was a bit better.
Yeah. What did you make of the whole pick and ban phase?
I mean, pick and ban phase is obviously so hard to judge here because so much depends on what the players want to play. Like the Twitch is a perfect pick for All-Star against teams without coordination because you just catch people left and right. So that was good for NA. Overall, I like Team Ice's comp as well. It was just a little bit too slow for me, also with the way they were building. Like Anivia going tier, Rod of Ages. Obviously, Gangplank needs the 2-item spike again. So they didn't do anything for like 15, 20 minutes. They fell really far behind, and when they started playing well and almost pulling back, it was too late. Like one mistake and the game was over.
And I actually think Malphite and Kindred pretty good. Like Kindred right now on this patch is really, really strong early game, and we did see that from Meteos taking control of the game very early. He did end up wasting a lot of time in the jungle after that, which made it kind of close, but A+ Kindred there, not quite S+.
I mean, Kindred is good, but especially if like the Anivia died level 3 gank, he died at level 3 gank, so this is not so good, right? And then the jungler flashed over the wall and died.
Yeah.
So, you know, obviously Kindred gets really good if you...
That was actually another thing I want to bring up, because like when you play Kindred, you know that you have this really strong early game, and he marked the mid laner. Usually you mark the jungler because you want to establish dominance over the enemy jungler, plus you don't give away where you're going to go. But Meteos marks the mid laner. He's like, I'm going to come mid, I'm going to kill you. And he showed up mid, and they killed him. Yeah. If he marks you, if you mark a laner that early in the game, then he should be expecting.
It was a slow start. Again, like Kira, it's a misplays in mid. Smurf was like 0-5, I think, on a Gangplank and doing nothing, and then suddenly they turned it on.
Well, let's take a closer look maybe at the bottom lane, 2 versus 2 that happened. I know the Nami came out, and there are some, different opinions about that. Let's take a look at this replay, because it was pure 2 versus 2, actually. I rolled the clip out. Niels, can you talk us through what happened?
So Kalista has W here, so Twitch will out the trader if you keep trading without progging the mark, as you see here. So this is where they start trading efficiently because they actually block the mark together and they get a good trade-off. But before that, they're already losing the trade really hard since the Twitch poison does more damage than a mark that is not procced. So I think if they use...
Here comes the hook! Oh! Cut that part off.
He missed that part. He got level 2, he missed the hook.
Yeah, you were hit
Still
that one,
though,
right?
because Aframu was auto-attacking him, he got all the minions to hit him, so they weren't hitting his minions. That meant the wave was going to push down towards CIS.
Yeah.
So Doublelift was like level 2 when he got back, and they were like level 4 on the side of Kalista and Thresh. And then they decided to farm. It's like, that's the way you just destroy Twitch completely. Like, he sits on like 10 CS for 20 minutes, and you just destroy him.
And then you buy Hurricane.
And then you don't buy BT first, at least.
So let's talk a little bit about those builds. Kalista with the BT first, and then Twitch with the Hurricane. You had some strong words about that.
I always said that BT was terrible on Kalista first item because Blade was a really good power spike. I mean, Blade did get nerfed on this patch, a bit more gold and less damage on the auto attacks, so it's less good than before. But I still think it's a lot better than BT because you get BT got so much gold and it takes so long time before you actually do damage. So yeah, I think that was kind of horrible. The Hurricane Twitch, I don't know about this. I haven't played Twitch that much or built Hurricane at all because I don't like the crit on it. So, but I've actually it's fine. You get passive on everyone, but
no Ghostblade though. Come on.
But the ultimate, it extends the
Ghostblade is so strong
Hurricane.
on Twitch. That early power spike you get, you just start going crazy. okay, he fell behind in lanes. Maybe he was like, you know what, just go like Hurricane, farm a bit faster, and then be better in team fights. Could have been the tactic here. Overall, like, we see a lot of fun builds because now it is off season and people are trying out what's the best. Nobody really 100% knows yet. I want to see Iceborne Gauntlet on Malphite. Come on, man, a massive slow? That is so cool.
Well, we'll see if it comes out later. Let's take a look at some of the big plays for the game, though, because in the end, CIS ended up losing, but some big plays coming out of both Kira and Gangplank later, as you said, when he was ramping up and he really made the score better. Let's roll the clip out. First off, this one was actually really beautiful.
Yeah, this attempted tower dive here by Double Lift. This was actually my favorite play of the game, where Kira's gonna flash the auto attack here. Twitch with the ultimate, as they said, it turns his auto attacks into a line missile. And he was able to get off the combo right after the flash there, knowing that he has the egg, playing around it like Froggen did in the 1v1.
And here, Gangplank as well. Gangplank as well. Some good plays coming out of Smurf, a little too late, though, sadly.
Yeah, that was really sick. How you put 2 barrels together.
Uh-huh.
That was really well played.
It's like dominoes. You practice for that.
Boom. And then to follow it up, another strong play here.
What's this one, Shots?
I can't really... Oh, yeah.
Shots!
That was my fault? Really? No. But in the end, good job by NA once again, the whole team. Some mid-late game decision making, but they were really far ahead. And you guys were telling it in the end. Of course, they're having a bit of fun now in the end because they know they're far ahead. You're hopeful now for Team Fire?
I've always been hopeful. Okay. I mean, that's a good word.
Except for after the show yesterday, you were crying. But apart from that, I'm going to.
He's making up. His EU salt is just overflowing.
He was crying.
In any case, with that win, North America's Best have earned 100 points for Team Fire, and that means that they are now within 1 game of Team Ice, a fun mode, actually only 50 points. So it's getting heated up here in the arena, really good. Well, we're going to take a quick break, but the day is just heating up, and when we return, Team Ice and Fire will put on their carry pants for a marksman mode game on Summoner's Rift. Don't go anywhere.
Oh, yo, is there a Fire Malphite skin? Huh? Don't use Glacial, dude. What team are you on?
Alright. Kira's been egged. Flash over from Damashki. He connects with a cocoon, but it will not matter.
They're gonna get him too.
A turret shot takes down Midtails. IWC in a 3v2. They find themselves at least one. Goes back in. He gets one back onto the spider. Expunge will hit a lot. Flash away from Kira.
Nivea? Or GP no flash, GP no flash.
Hit the tower once. Just go closest target, play around.
Get ulti's down, get healed. That's just dead.
Nice.
Smurf is looking for more.
Looking at another.
Now Lex is in trouble. Lamb's Respite will keep Meteos alive. The Nexus will be dropping in North America. And North America get 100 points for Team Fire.